Greetings everyone, I'm Shubham from MATLAB Helper. In this video we will be introducing the MATLAB app designer. This video is from a beginner's perspective, so let's get started. What is the app designer? In MathWorks' own words, MATLAB app designer is a drag and drop feature of MATLAB that enables you to create professional apps without being an experienced software developer. Some advantages of app designer are: beginner-friendly interface makes it easy for new users to explore it independently. Design the user interface as well as the code behavior of the app. The generated codes are fully object-oriented. Availability of many instrumentation devices like knob, lamp, LED, and switch. Earlier there used to be another feature for app designing named Guide. It was introduced way earlier in around version 5, way back in 1996. Since it was very old, it could not be updated much to keep up with the modern needs, so its development stopped, and App Designer was introduced around 2016A. Being a recent feature, it can be kept updated with the changed interface of MATLAB. Now that we know something about the App Designer, let's start using it. There are two methods for starting the App Designer in MATLAB. The first method is go to the Home tab and click on New. Then select the app from the drop-down menu. Another method is a more straightforward one. Go to Command, Window and write App Designer and hit Enter. This is the interface you will get once the App Designer starts. Let me explain some basic things here. In the Design tab, you have New for a new app, Open for opening an earlier app, and Save to save your current changes. App Details option shows your app's name, summary, and description. I will advise you to fill in an overview of your app and provide an explanation to tell the user what kind of work it does or what output they should expect. The next option is Share, which is used to share it with someone else. Then we have the Run button, which will run the app as one expects. The second tab, named Canvas, gives you alignment and resizing options. As of now, you can leave it as it is. Let's come down for a bit. Here we have the component library. It contains specific components like sliders, buttons, axes, LED, etc. The component library is divided into 4 parts: Common, Container, Figure Tools, and Instrumentation. For an in-depth review, you can refer to the MATLAB documentation. Let's start with designing our very first app. Now I will not show you a simple text showing app like Hello World or something like that. We will make an app which can do something or calculate something and return us some results. For any app you design, having a rough idea of the interface will be helpful. However, if you can't come up with the interface, you can later rearrange the components as per your choice. Now in this video, I will be designing an Amplitude modulation app. Start with dragging the axis. So let's go there. And here we have dragged the axis. We will need 2 more axis components. So 1 and 2. You can edit the properties of components by selecting them and modifying them in the properties section. Now you might notice that as the components are being dragged here, new entries appear in the component browser available on your right side. Let's change the name of our graphs. We will also change the x-axis and y-axis names. You can also double click on the text to edit it. Now let me change the name. So this is a message signal. This is a carrier signal, and this is modulated signal. So y-axis are amplitude, x-axis is time. So let's copy it and Now we need some inputs to work up. In my app, I want the information to be numeric. For that reason, I have 3 components. First is edit field numeric. Second one is a slider. And third one is a knob component, which you can find here. I'm going to use the edit field and slider for now. If the need arises or our mind changes, we can always come back and make changes here. As you can see, I have used 4 numeric fields and 1 slider component. I will also change the label text of all the edit components. Now let me explain the role of each graph and component. The 3 graphs will be used for the message signal, carrier signal and modulated result. VM and VC fields will be used to get the voltage or amplitude of the message and carrier signal respectively. Similarly, FC and FM will be used to get the frequency of the message signal and carrier signal. I am going to add additional labels for extra clarification. Now the design of our app is ready. All we need to do now is to map the input to their respective places to get an output. For that, click on the code view available here. You will notice that some code is already present in the code view. These codes are necessary and are not editable. You might also see a new tab named Editor. Some of its main elements are callback, function, property, and app input arguments. A callback is a function that executes when a user interacts with a UI component in your app. We use callbacks to program the behavior of our app. The functions create either a public function or a private function. Property is used to share data within an app. It is also of 2 types, public and private. App input arguments are used to bring in input arguments. Callbacks, functions and properties are accessible from the left side of the window under code browser. Below that you can see app layout, which shows a preview of your app. The right side accessibility options are the same as before. Now let's add some callback to our app. I want to take voltage and frequency input and then display a graph as soon as frequency input is obtained. Hence I will be adding callback for FC and FM fields. In the component browser, select the entry having the name FM edit field. So here it is. Right click on it and go to callbacks and click on add value changed function callback. Okay, here it is. A private callback function will be created where we can add or change code lines to get the desired result. I have added the necessary code lines that plot the graph for FM. It reads the value of VM edit field and FM edit field. As soon as FM edit field is altered, we get a corresponding graph. So you can say that it is creating some response. Let's add another callback for FC. So here it is. I will also add a callback function for the slider component. So what actually is happening here? We take the modulation level as input through the slider and calculate the output modulated signal. The equation in the y variable is an equation for amplitude modulation. For more information on the subject, you can refer to any electronics communication systems book. Now that we have created the required response in our app, let's save and run it. On clicking run, you should get this window. Here it is. As you can see, I have changed the layout a bit and also the labels a bit. So don't get confused, the code remains same. Now let's give some input and check whether it is working or not. So it is 5, VC is 8, FM is 500 and VM is 2000. Okay, it is working perfectly. We are getting a graph which seems to be correct. It is correct, don't worry about it. At 20% modulation we have this result. Let's go for 60% modulation. Yes, we are getting the desired results, hence our app is working fine. Now I will advise you to create some more apps to get the hang of all the features available in them. We have covered many more topics using the MATLAB app designer, some of which are IPL with MATLAB, where we perform programming with the Indian Premier League in MATLAB and visualize the progress of each team as it's happening with the graphical power of MATLAB and app designer. Second one is blood cell counter with MATLAB, where you will learn the concepts of image segmentation for analyzing and counting red and white blood cells in MATLAB app designer. This webinar is a must watch if you want to create a project based on RBCs and WBC segmentation. And last is fitness tracker with MATLAB. Here you will learn about your fitness and health and the importance of BMI, WHR, WHTR, etc. You will be able to track your fitness within MATLAB with your application. Thank you for watching this video. Do like this video if you found it helpful. If you have any queries, post them in the comments or get in touch with us. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Education is our future. MATLAB is our feature. Happy MATLABing.